The year 3434 of the Second Age. Here follows the account of Isildur, High King of Gondor, and the finding of the Ring of Power. Come to me, the One Ring. It shall be an heirloom of my kingdom. All those who follow in my bloodline shall be bound to its fate.
Since Isildur's fall, Gondor has remained a country without a king, waiting for the day when the legendary heir might return to claim his throne.
The title The Return of the King refers to Aragorn, who has been on a journey through the first two movies towards his taking of the throne of Gondor.
The line of kings was thought to have died out a long time ago, but there is one surviving heir in that line, and that is Aragorn.
When we first meet him, he's a ranger from the north. He's a loner who has chosen to live his life isolated from the rest of society, really because he believes that his ancestry had the opportunity to destroy the ring and failed.
Cast it into the fire!
Destroy it!
Now.
Isildur!
And so Aragorn has grown up with this dread, with this sense of failure, tainting his background.
Why do you fear the past? You are Isildur's heir, not Isildur himself. You are not bound to his fate.
The same blood flows in my veins. Same weakness.
He's not really sure whether men are worthy to inherit the world. But there is a realization that obviously comes that if it's not men, it's going to be orcs. It's going to be something far, far worse. And so Aragorn has to really have a belief in the nobility of his own people.
Understand, things are now in motion that cannot be undone. If the ring is destroyed, Sauron will fall. But if Sauron regains the ring, his victory will be so complete that none can foresee the end of it while this world lasts.
He has gone unchallenged long enough.
And he grows through the trilogy to learn, in fact, that it is up to him to pick up the sword that Isildur wielded in this original battle 3,000 years ago and bring peace to Middle-earth.
I think it says a great deal about the ascent of man, who appears to be ordinary but isn't. He knows it is his duty, his future. It is his destiny to lead the forces of good against the forces of evil.
In our dreams, we are heroes. In our dreams, we would wish to be courageous and noble, and dignified and passionate and strong. In our dreams, we aspire to be an Aragorn.
Éowyn, White Lady of Rohan, orphaned as a young child and raised in the court of her uncle, King Theoden.
Éowyn is fiercely passionate about her land. She's fiercely passionate about her king.
I would have you smile again, not grieve for those whose time has come.
Miranda's role is probably, without a doubt, my favorite role in the whole of the trilogy. She's not one to just go home and do the cooking.
She's a woman who has this inner strength and has been trained in horseback riding and fighting.
You have some skill with a blade.
She is someone who has been brought up with those skills because she is royal and because there is a chance that she may end up being the last of the lineage. And she is given certain responsibilities, but they don't actually want her to be in the front line of battle.
You must lead the people to Helm's Deep, and make haste.
I can fight!
No! You must do this for me.
The women of Rohan are supposed to farewell the men and watch them go off to battle and then wait behind.
Stay together!
But she wants to go and fight for her people.
And action. Sweet.
I came here for 3 weeks before we started shooting, working with the stunt guys and working on a choreographed fight and also just working on the basic moves.
It's just making sure that you put, you feel like you're really hitting the guys, and I think you should just whack them.
In the end, when we were shooting it on set, Peter said to me, "Oh, you know, it doesn't look really like you're slashing him there. I think you'll really have to hit him." So he had me full on hitting everybody.
Just remember, pain is temporary, film is forever.
Her character has a chance to be an interesting role model for women and girls because she is complicated and because she can defend herself and is willing to.
She's determined to go to battle, partially because she has this inner strength, and partially because she's fallen in love with Aragorn and wants to follow him.
You ride with us?
Just to the encampment. It's tradition for the women of the court to farewell the men.
Point of a sword?
Sometimes. In the end, she would like to be fighting beside Aragorn, to fight for her people, you know, to have the chance to be allowed to stand up for what she believes in and what she loves.
And I think he admires her for that, and he really does care about her.
Where is she? The woman who gave you that jewel.
Aragorn points out to her that she's really in love with a shadow. She's really in love with a concept and not with him, that their love could never amount to anything.
You know, I've had the ups and downs of love, and I certainly know what her story is, the despair that she feels.
You do see the vulnerability of her, you do see the kind of the humanity, and you do see the complex layers of emotion.
I think for Éowyn, she gets to see in this film what she's really made of.
This day, we fight!
She has a real warrior spirit. She wants to fight, she wants to defend her people, she wants to defend the land of Rohan.
Whatever happens, stay with me.
Samwise Gamgee, more than anyone, represents the ordinary man.
If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been. Sam starts out at the beginning of the adventure, a very simple hobbit who is not too interested in faraway things or faraway places. But as the journey continues, Sam really has to struggle with figuring out what it means to help Frodo.
Go back, Sam! I'm going to Mordor alone.
Of course you are! And I'm coming with you!
It's very much a master-servant relationship, and I'm sure Tolkien didn't have to think very hard about that relationship. He'd seen it hundreds of times in his life. Friendships between people of different social classes, interdependent.
I made a promise, Mr. Frodo. A promise. Don't you leave him, Samwise Gamgee. And I don't mean to. I don't mean to.
Frodo would not be able to get to Mordor and would not be able to actually complete his task of destroying this ring without Sam. We're not alone.
Frodo is the ring bearer. He's the only one that can carry this ring. And yet, every footstep that he takes closer to Mount Doom, it's harder and harder for him.
You can't take your eyes off it. I've seen you. You're not eating. You barely sleep. It's taking a hold of you, Mr. Frodo.
And Sam, as his companion, can't physically take the ring off him and carry it himself. And therefore, the pressures on Sam start to increase. And Sam's purity, his courage, his commitment to Frodo is put under huge test.
You miserable little maggot! Sam! I'll get him! I'll get him! Scare him off. We're lost. I don't care. I can't do it, Mr. Frodo. I won't wait around for him to kill us. I'm not sending him away. You don't see it, do you?
He's a villain. We can't do this by ourselves, Sam. Not without a guide. I need you on my side. I'm on your side, Mr. Frodo. I know, Sam. I know. Trust me. When does the master-servant relationship become friendship? Through hardship, through suffering, Frodo and Sam are able to achieve a level of parity, a level of equality in their relationship. Sam. I'm glad you're with me.
Sam becomes Frodo's touchstone to reality, to normalcy, to decency, to goodness.
As much as Frodo is the hero that he actually puts himself through what he does, it is Sam that maintains his own strength and clarity to allow Frodo to carry out that task. Nothing ever dampens your spirits, does it, Sam?
Sam is an emblem of the nature of true friendship.
He started out the film as Frodo's sidekick, and by Return of the King, he becomes the rock, the guy that drives him forward on their mission and actually takes on heroic proportions.
Sam will not give up on his friend. He just can't. It's just not in his nature. And as it turns out with Frodo and Sam, thank God for that bond, and thank God for it being unbreakable. Because of it, together they are able to overcome an extraordinary evil.
What are we holding on to, Sam? That there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo. And it's worth fighting for.
It is Sam who is chosen by Gandalf. It is Sam who supports Frodo after he gets the Morgul knife.
Back, you devils!
It is Sam who distrusts Gollum. He is, for me, the hero of the stories. The ordinary man.
In the third film, for the first time, we really meet the Gondorians, which is more of a classic military kind of society with a very old culture that is almost modeled after Greece, Rome, sort of empires. And Minas Tirith is their fortress.
Minas Tirith is the ancient city of the kings, the center of the Gondor lands.
Osgiliath used to be the capital, but now Minas Tirith is the capital. And it effectively just shields the inhabitants there from the shadow of Mordor, which is just over the way.
Minas Tirith is the seven-tiered city, and each ring of the 7 levels is separated from the rest by a gate.
It's ancient, tremendously ancient. It's a white city. It's a city carved out of marble. It glows in the sunlight.
It doesn't look like it's been built. It looks like it's been hewn from the rock. It's part of the mountain, you know.
And Minas Tirith was an architectural structure that Tolkien chose to describe through his writings, but also illustrate to a high degree.
It's based on a kind of eclectic mix of Romanesque architecture and Roman architecture, and yet there's no particular exact style. It's just a very interesting blend, and deliberately so, because after all, this is the world of men.
There was a huge set built for Minas Tirith, which was built in a quarry here in Wellington.
In the same place that they had Helm's Deep, actually. So once they'd finished filming Helm's Deep, they tore all that down and they built Minas Tirith.
One of them can be our horse person, if it's Jed or who it's going to be, and steps forward and just takes the horse here.
I think with Minas Tirith, Peter had so much he wanted to do. He wanted Faramir's 100 men marching down the streets on their way to certain death, you know, and Gandalf gallops through the streets with Pippin on his saddle. So, you know, a horse galloping through streets, you need some scale, you need some length to it.
When you consider that Minas Tirith is 700 feet to the topmost layer, 1,000 feet to the top of the tower, this required a mighty miniature.
There's 2 miniatures actually of Minas Tirith. There's a full-size model of the city, which is in 72nd scale, very, very small. That's for our master shots. And then we have large sections of it in 14th scale, which is useful for close-ups. And then we stitch those 2 scales together. There are more shots of Minas Tirith than of any other single set in the whole movie.
Action! But like so many great communities, this Númenórean race that's gone on for thousands of years has become complacent, and the city, to a certain degree, is beginning to fall into ruin, ill-prepared for the moves of the evil forces in these lands.
We come to it at last. The great battle of our time.
3. We've got this gigantic battle for Pelennor Fields, and the Rohan riders, all 5,000 of them, have a huge part to play in that battle.
Peter had a general idea that he wanted it to be very showy and intense and extreme and, show the carnage of war.
So we knew that the horses and the riders were going to have to take some terrible falls. So there were going to be things that they would have to do that just you couldn't even attempt with a real horse, nor would you want to.
So Peter wanted to have a lot of digital horses.
Horses are very dynamic creatures. Everyone knows what they look like, and so there was a lot to recreate.
Yes, it was daunting and quite a challenge because we knew we were going to have to make our digital horses stand up alongside the real thing. The shot that we used to develop a lot of these technologies is the shot where the Nazgul comes swooping down, takes out a bunch of horses that are fleeing back to Minas Tirith.
This is a typical shot. Horses are running through the shot, nobody's falling, no one's getting hurt. So it was our job to put horses into it.
Tolkien describes how these Nazgul terrified the horses and riders. And really, to carry that emotion, you just had to see these great beasts just scooping up riders and horses. So we had to just work out these very complex actions to get all the horses and riders to fit into one another and to fit amongst the live-action horses and riders.
The horses on set were choreographed to peel apart so that we had this space in the middle. A really complex shot to pull off because we have the digital horses alongside the real ones. The first step is to track a digital camera to match the on-set camera, and they'll put in cones and spheres and a rough ground plane to check that the digital camera is matching what the real camera was doing.
Then we had to bring in the animated puppets, which are low-resolution, gray-shaded objects.
Then the animators will start blocking in the action, start trying different variations of how the shot could come together, showing variations to Peter. Now let's get some more horses in there, let's make it really complex, really make it look great.
To bring a digital horse to life requires a really complex and sophisticated and highly detailed model of a real horse. So we would start with sculpts of real horses that would be scanned, digitized, and reworked by our model department to get all the muscle detail primarily where it needed to be.
And then it goes into lighting and texturing.
And then adding all these shading tricks so that the light reflects off the skin of the horse in such a way that it looks like the horse has a fine layer of fur. And then the compositor will be working as well on just balancing all these elements into the plate, adding the environment, a bit of lens flare, just a whole lot of stuff that helps to sell the shot. We're also using motion capture on horses here for the first time on film 3, where we rigged out one of the studios so that we could gallop horses all the way through it.
To motion capture a horse is pretty tricky given the size of the stage that you can put them on.
We take a live horse, we put little reflective markers all over it, and then we can gallop it through a space that's got lots and lots of cameras rigged up to track those markers that are on the real horse. And then the software that's running in real time will apply that motion to a skeleton of the horse within the computer. So yeah, there's really two basic approaches to creating motion for the horses. We can hand a horse puppet over to an animator, and the animator can actually keyframe that motion directly onto that puppet, or we can actually record the motion off a real horse.
However, for the actual falls, that all had to be done with keyframe animation because, again, there was no way to perform that kind of an action either on camera or to motion capture it.
For animation approval.
Animation approval, you reckon, on the show, eh?
The first time we showed the digital horses to Peter getting wiped out by the Nazgul, he said, okay, I can't tell which ones are real and which ones are digital.
I like the feeling of that handheld sort of feel. It's good. Aided and abetted by the ever-improving digital technology, there really is no limit to what we can put on screen except the limit of our imaginations. And the digital horses are a perfect example of this because we're calling upon them to do things that you'd never call upon a real animal to do.
Sauron's wrath will be terrible, his retribution swift. The battle for Helm's Deep is over. The battle for Middle-earth is about to begin.
The Battle of Pelennor Fields takes place outside the city of Gondor on the huge grassy plains.
Sauron basically throws a huge army of orcs, numbering some 200,000 orcs. They have trolls, they have wargs, they have siege towers, and they lay siege to the city.
They broke through our defenses. They've taken the bridge and the west bank.
And there's only a certain amount of time that the city's going to be able to hold out because the siege towers and the battering rams are able to breach the city. And then we have the Rohan army, the Rohirrim, who eventually managed to make it to Minas Tirith.
Every hour lost hastens Gondor's defeat. We have till dawn, then we must ride.
This is basically an all-out war of the good guys against the bad guys on a huge expanse of land.
We shot the Battle of Pelennor Fields, or at least the charge, down in Twisel, just down at the South Island. And I remember they put a call out for all able-bodied horse riders to assemble at the certain field, and they were assessed and then costumed up and put into this charge, and the charge was just phenomenal. I mean, I've never witnessed anything like it. There was about 500 horsemen and women who were charging down this field outside of Twisel, and it was incredible, you know, just standing at the other end and hearing the rumble. It essentially constitutes, you know, one of the largest cavalry charges in the history of cinema.
Ride now! Ride for ruin! And the world's ending!